Welcome to the Honey Pot.
I think it's nice to meet you, by the way.
My name's Abby. I'm a video editor and interviewer for the Honey Pot. So kind of just the basic first question, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, my name is Bear, and I am a singer-songwriter. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Twin Cities, actually. And yeah, I mean, that's like very basic. I grew up in like northern Minnesota, so moving to the cities has been very refreshing for sure. But I spent some time, I studied at the university, actually at Leeds Conservatoire, it's called now, in the UK, and then like moved back home during the pandemic. And I've been here since and just like making music out of I've lived in 2 different places since moving home. In my uncle's basement, I started just doing Zoom sessions there. And then eventually I got my own apartment, which we're in now, in St. Paul. And yeah, just have been in Minnesota for a while. It's been nice.
So kind of talking about that move, how do you feel like moving around the world like that has affected your music?
Oh gosh, I like made moving my personality for a hot minute. I think for about 5 years, I was like, I can't be in one place. I really was like very on the move. The first experience I had with that was like moving to Norway right after high school for a gap year. And that opened my eyes so much because I think we didn't do lots of like international travel or anything when I was growing up. We did lots of fun vacations and like camping, and we saw Minnesota and did Canada and like went on some beautiful trips. I was really lucky to be able to like camp around America, but I really just wanted to like not live in a small town in Minnesota anymore. So I went really far away, and it actually just changed my whole perspective on like so many things. And I think like has definitely influenced the way things sound within the music, particularly because I studied music outside of Minnesota and like outside of the States for so long, and have practically until recently really only collaborated ever with people from Norway or England. So it's been interesting to like meet people in America now and start writing with them. It is a very different process, I find. It's very different to write with someone in like LA than it is someone from London, but just because the process is slower one place and faster the other, or like more in internalized, I would say. But yeah, I don't know. I think I like have a very weird perspective, and I look at like Minnesota as home, and I think with like Superspreader and my most recent single as well, we've just even used it as like lyrical content, the difference between like those places for me internalized. And yeah, I don't know, I've not ever thought if it like is the reason something sounds any sort of way, but
Yeah,
I like really love British boy bands and like indie music from England. So when I was like studying there and working with people that were there and they all just wanted to be the 1975, like it was quite funny to sort of hear that influence come through in like my studies. But now as I've been home, like I've been kind of falling back into that like Americana folk music where like I would say my roots probably are. But it still feels like something that is quite relevant to like the scene in London every time I go back, which is always fun. And I don't know. Yeah.
talking about kind of British influence, it's a slight pivot from directly your work, but you do your Instagram stalking, you do your little scrolling, and you follow Wet Leg, who's one
I
of
do.
my favorite bands of all time. And I'm
Obsessed with Wet Leg. I think it's brilliant. The whole project. I like every time I see something from them, I'm like, thank you for being on this earth at this time. I think they're magical. Truly. I actually want to like, I feel very speechless when I think about Wet Leg, which I think is really fun. But I've just never like sat or questioned anything that they've ever done. And it's so fun to like absorb that. I had the chance to meet them very briefly at South by Southwest as well. And it was so nice just to like say hi and be like, wow, who are you, and sort of take it in. But they're from the Isle of Wight, which is so cool. My friend Charlie, who co-wrote and we released Meant to Be together, he's also from the Isle of Wight. And the Isle of Wight is so small. Everyone knows everyone. So they had already heard Meant to Be before, and they knew Charlie, and like we had a lot of mutual friends, and it was just like a really crazy moment. She's like, hi. Very weird, but they are so cool. We work with some of the same people too in like the booking world as well. So it's just like very fun to see what they're doing. I know that they're going to be like supporting Harry Styles in Australia, and I think that's like such a cool pairing. But I am obsessed. I mean, it's so good. Dream is like my favorite song ever. Yeah.
Back to kind of your journey, I'm curious because in your most recent single in Superspreader, you're credited as kind of like editing and drawing the lyric video.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious about how you like became interested in those other mediums and your journey between kind of visuals and music.
Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't afford anybody else to do it. Like I truly was like, oh, I don't have money to pay anyone to make a lyric video. And it wasn't Superspreader that was first, like I think that first initial thought, and then this whole process of me like putting out homemade lyric videos started when I decided to like unofficially release on my YouTube channel a demo that I had written called Worrying, that had like a little bit of time on TikTok basically. And I was like, okay, throw it up. But my manager was like, we're gonna need a visual component. Like, do you think you can do anything? And I just was like, no, I have no idea. So very randomly one day I started doodling on my iPad. I just have like a free app on my iPad, and I would do it like the only way I could think to do it was like stop motion and then edit it all together. And the first video I made took me 3 days. Like of just only making this lyric video for Worrying. And I sent it to my manager. I was like, hi, like, I don't know, this is probably really bad. Tell me what you think. I can revisit it or anything. He was like, people pay big money for that. So it was like a desperate attempt to just like fill the gap a little bit, I think. And then I realized I actually just loved it because it let me like add extra context, and it was fun to do. It was a very like cathartic way to sort of breathe some more life for me personally, like into the song. And so I did it as well for a track that I put out called Bad for Me. And then, yeah, I think, and then when Meant to Be kind of started popping off, I was like, okay, I know that I could make a cute lyric. I felt pretty confident in my like abilities then at that point, but they are very time consuming because it is like drawing every frame and then putting them all together, timing it with the lyrics and stuff. But I really like doing it. And so doing it for Superspreader was like, oh, I just knew I had to. And then as well, like I wanted specifically with that one to like include some funny little tidbits on the side of like where I was at mentally and what I was thinking about and what each lyric means and stuff. So hopefully it feels like a bit more of like a personal touch for the person watching the video to like hear the process of the song. That's my goal with it anyways. But yeah, it happened by total accident that I like found out that I like doing this. And so it's something I hope I can keep doing. I think my handwriting is horrible. I'm surprised that people have watched them and said that they're okay. Like, I can't imagine they're easy to read, but yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
I really like them because it feels more connected compared to hiring someone in, even though I am a video kid. So it's like I'd be the person you're hiring. Yeah, I'm a film major and my main focus is music videos. I do music videos
amazing.
and documentaries. So kind of opposites, but I really like how like personal it feels.
I'm so glad it like comes across. That's amazing. Thank you. No, they're fun.
Do you plan on continuing to do like either whenever you get instead of lyric video, maybe more of a proper music video? Do you plan to kind of direct it or lead it?
For Superspreader specifically, or just in general?
I meant in general, but I'd love if a Superspreader music video came.
It exists. It came out today.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So I just like a little bit on that. Yes, I mean I there's a song I put out called Feel So Easy, and I actually directed the video for that. I absolutely loved it. It was so fun. And I think for me, it just depends on like the idea. If it's something that I'm like, okay, I could probably like, I feel confident in this, then yes, I do like to have a hand in directing it. But with Superspreader, I knew how I wanted it to feel, and that was it. Truly, I was like, I want it to look like and feel like it's something from home, and I want it to feel like it's Minnesotan. And but then these were the emotions that I had, and I had met my friend Sawyer, who is super talented. He's from the Twin Cities, and he shot the cover for Superspreader for like DSPs and everything. And I just kind of approached him and I was like, hey, do you think maybe we could make a music video together for this song? He was like, no brainer. Yes, I would love to do that. So we sat down and brainstormed for about a half hour and had like a really solid, just like fun theme. And he had all these cool connections. So yes, we, in like the matter of 3 days, filmed a really cool video that I think feels very, very Minnesotan, very cinematic Minnesotan Superspreader. But it came out today at 11 a.m. So it's been fun to like have people send some reaction videos and things. And I think it's going well. I love the video, so it's very cool. But I think music videos are, and you know this because you work in it, but they're so important. I think it's so fun to be able to like showcase a song outside of like the audio world. It's really cool to like put a story to something. So yeah, no, I think, I hope that they're a very like prime important part of the thing that I get to do with music. I think that's going to be really a fun part of like the whole process. But yeah,
I'm excited to watch it. I've been watching the lyric video on repeat, so I didn't know that the music video was coming out, but kind of mentioning that it feels like home. I know that you were very involved with musical theater and were really passionate about it. So I'm kind of curious if there are any like shows or specific musical theater like soundtracks that you feel like have influenced you, or just your favorite.
I think like, yes, actually, I will unashamedly admit that like musical theater like shaped me as a human. I was really lucky to do a lot of musical theater growing up. And I mean, so many shows, which was so fun. It was my like passion. I was planning on studying it in college and like pursuing that. And then all of a sudden I was in England studying songwriting, and that was cool, but it was it very random. But yeah, I think as far as like soundtracks that have influenced it, I'm not sure. I do really love like the popular music soundtrack musical theater mashup vibe. Like Once, for example, I think is one of the most beautiful like musicals and like musical experiences, and it translates so well from like stage to screen. It's a really beautiful musical just in general. And then same for like Waitress, that the Sarah Bareilles musical, she like she wrote the whole soundtrack, I believe, to Waitress, and it's gorgeous. And that's something that I could just listen to like as a soundtrack. But my favorite shows are like, I love the Book of Mormon. I will never shut up about the Book of Mormon. I saw it recently on the West End again, and I was like, yes, this is this is the best thing I've ever seen. And yeah, I love like a good comedy musical. Like the Spamalot was one of the last shows I ever did, actually, and I fell in love with that. And anything Monty Python is super fun. But I will say, I think just vocally and like tonally, it's definitely shaped the way that I like sing often. And I'll find myself slipping into like big musical theater moments when I'm writing, and one of my producers or something will have to be like, okay, let's sing that a little differently so you don't sound like Glinda. But then I'll be like, okay, that's fair. That's super fair. It's a very accidental thing at this point. I think it was like very ingrained. But yeah, I have the greatest love and appreciation for musical theater. And I hope it like happen someday where I get the chance to like write a musical score or something. That'd be really fun. But yeah. I love that you just know that. I don't talk about it much, so that's very funny.
It's like you want to know kind of like fun things, like your favorite artist. You're not just they're not just your favorite just because of what they do. It's like them as an artist.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of important. I don't know how you feel about that, or maybe as an artist, how your experience is with that, but
No, it's so, I mean, this is very new to me too, which is really cool. So I definitely, I feel that way when I'm looking into artists that I really admire. And like, I love watching interviews with people that just talk about, I mean, anything and everything that's not music related. It's really interesting to hear like where they come from and what their story is. But yeah, no, my story is definitely that I just only did musical theater for about 18 years in rural Minnesota. That was my whole personality. So that and the show choir. Definitely did a lot of show choir. So
would you ever go back on stage? Would you ever like
yes,
want to star in a
immediately, any day. Like that is the easiest yes I could possibly say, I think. It would probably take me a minute to get back in the swing of things, but I would love to do some more acting. I really miss that actually. That was like a very big part of me for a long time. And I didn't give it up on purpose. Like it just sort of, I was not here and I didn't have the opportunity to do it at college. So it's crazy, but
well, in loving acting, is it just theater for you, or would you ever want to act on screen?
I've never done it before. Outside of these like music videos that I make now, which is very like, that's a really fun way for me to incorporate that for sure. But I would love to. I have no idea what that would look like. And it's not something that I've like thought about. Although like when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be Hannah Montana and like be on Disney Channel. And I think now I'm very happy that that dream wasn't realized and that wasn't my path. But but I think I definitely like would like to do that at some point and give that a go if I have the opportunity. It'd be fun. I would never shy away from auditioning for anything like that because like there's no harm in auditioning for stuff. So yeah, that's something you learn when you do musical theater for 18 years.
Well, and talking about Disney Channel, I believe that you got to create How You Feel About Me for Disney's Hamster and Gretel. What was that experience like?
Yeah. I get so giddy when I think about it. Okay, do you want the story?
Absolutely. Give me the tea.
Okay. So I have a song called Feel So Easy that I've mentioned now. And I put that out. It was my second single. And I decided it would be fun to do like a story time on TikTok and just tell the story behind it. So I put up like a minute-long video. And it did well. Like it weirdly, TikTok blows my mind. I never understand, and I will never understand it. But this is what it was, a video that like, I think it got like 30,000 views. And I was doing a live as it was because someone was like, you should do lives when your videos are popping up. So I was like, okay. Because my video is popping off. That feels so easy. It was a very strategic. And all of a sudden, Dan Povenmire was in my live and he had commented on my video. And I had like, I was not prepared because I'd been following him for so long. And he just texted me, or he like sent me a message because he'd followed me back and we could like message now on TikTok. He was like, hi, I just really like your song. Think you're really bold. Do you want to write a song? And my jaw dropped and I was like, yes, I do. So we Zoomed while I was in, this was in that period of time where if you flew into England, you had to quarantine for 10 days. So I flew in to England and I was in quarantine and I had 10 days to do nothing else but write songs with Dan Povenmire over Zoom. So all because of the song that I wrote about a hinge boy. Very funny. But so I kind of told him the story and we bonded and he was just describing like what he had envisioned, because when you write for TV shows, I mean, if you're writing for a plot, you don't write like a song that then they write into it. That might be the case for some reasons, but what like the angle we were taking was he was like, look, this is for a very specific scene. And I think we talked for about 2 hours, and he just was telling me his life story, and we were like comparing notes and doing all sorts of, I was just trying to absorb as much as I could from him, because I think he's a genius. And he told me the plot, and we sat down and wrote How You Feel About Me in like 10 minutes. And then I sent him the demo, and he was like, yep, that's good. So this was really fun. Let's do some more. Okay, bye. And I didn't really know it was actually going to make it into the show really until it was about to premiere. And he texted me that week by saying, hey, so just so you know, this is coming out on the soundtrack, and it's a favorite of the team, and we love it, and I hope you're excited to see it on the screen. And again, I had not thought about it. I was like just shocked. And he sent me a text that was like, you're now officially a Disney songwriter. And I cried for 3 days because that's been my biggest dream ever. I have always wanted to do something like that. And now it exists, and it's on Disney Plus, and it's very cool. But I haven't actually watched it yet. Not found the time, but the premise of the show is genius. And I literally grew up on Phineas and Ferb. So it was really fun to be able to even tell him that and just validate it for him and be there. I mean, not that he needs it. It's a brilliant show, and everyone does that on TikTok every day, but yeah, it was really cool. Hamster and Gretel slaps. It's sick. And the song we wrote, I think, is just very cute. It's very tonally perfect for it. And it was really fun. And I hope I get to do more with him. We've got some dates in the books, I think, to keep it up, but it was just really fun.
Hey,
Yeah.
talking about dates, you're about to open on tour for Sigrid. I'm so excited. She's one of my faves. I imagine I can't imagine how excited you are. So what are you most looking forward to?
Opening for Sigrid. Yes, I have loved Sigrid for so long. And I think just with, how do I put this? Yeah, when she announced that her North American tour, I screenshotted the post that she'd done and just sent it to my booking agent. I was like, hey, like, could you get me tickets to this? And he was like, I'll do you one better. Do you want to go on tour? She wants you to go. And I was like, duh, of course I will. I really truly am. I see so much of, I feel very validated as a human when I listen to her music. I see so much of myself just like in her lyrics, and I love how confident the music is. And it is something that was like a gateway for sure for me into pop music. Like, she brought me there. From all I ever listened to was like Mumford and Sons. And then I heard of Sigrid, and I was like, cool. So this is it. This is what I want to do. So I think it'll be a really full circle moment to be able to open for her on this tour. And I'm really excited to meet her and hang out and speak Norwegian with her, which will be super fun.
Just
yeah.
as kind of like a fun question, if she could join you on stage for one of your songs, which one would you want her to join you with?
Oh gosh. Actually, I have a new single. I have a new song coming out, and I think it would be that one. It's called Boys Who Kiss You in Their Car. And I think it would definitely be that. Fits the vibe. But other than that one, maybe Dead Deer, actually. I think she would be able to relate to it as a Norwegian, and we would just have a good time. Yeah.
Fingers crossed we get that to happen.
I know, very cool.
But since we're kind of coming to the end, normally my last question is something along the lines of, do you have anything that you want to plug? Anything that you want to say? The stage is yours, or I guess the Zoom is yours.
I suppose the Superspreader music video that came out today. I'm really excited about it. I think it was just really fun to make, and it feels like a piece of home. So I hope that people check it out and like the song and keep streaming it as well. It's been really fun. But this is the first release of this project that I've been working on. I think it'll be an EP that I'm looking forward to releasing throughout the year. So just really excited to be putting out new music and playing it on the road while opening up for Sigrid. I think that's gonna be really cool. But yeah, just the music video. Please watch it. I hope you like it.
Yes, and we'll definitely link it down below with all of your other social media and such. So thank you so much for joining us today.